workshops every Thursday, wherein we take a topic that is relevant to our academy that is going on. So as you all know, there are some programs that are happening, and this session is one of the important parts of this program as well. And before I start, this is not a master class, so I will be uh, it is open to the guild community as well, so some people may join. So I'm keeping the mics muted. One request, please, if you can switch on your cameras, it will be great, so I can talk to people. Then blank screens, and by default, mics is on. And this is in all our workshops that I am doing this. So anyone who knows me, please, when you join these calls, try to be on your laptop and keep your cameras on, so that I can also have you can also take much out of this, and also take live interactions and have a conversation. This session is getting recorded as well, and is going to be shared in the LMS and the AI Guild recording sections. There is a react option. All of you know, you can raise your hands and keep your chat active. The team is monitoring, and I will also be looking at it, and I will reach out one and one to in that particular thing if there is any specific question, right? So before I go to this particular today's topic, just for every one of you to be aware that there is AI agents, Agentic. Anyone here want to raise your hands and tell me what is your understanding of the difference between these three things? Agentic AI, AI agents, and generative AI. Or anyone wants to tell me the difference of two of them? You can raise your hands or put on the chat, and then I can take understanding about this. And you can do that. And one more thing I'm telling you is we will be having a Kahoot quiz after this. So I request people to stay till the end. The Kahoot quiz is going to be 8 questions about AI agents and agentic AI. And the winner of that will be getting access to the LinkedIn challenge. So please, and it's fun to learn as well. So anyone here wants to raise their hands and tell me the difference, what they know between these three. There are three things that are there right now, right? One is the generative AI. So also let me just. So there are three things right now in the market, right? One is, this is the old one. We have the whole AI residency based on generative AI, which is the foundations, AI agents, and agentic AI. Anyone? Okay, Shivraj is the yes, tell me, Shivraj, how are you? If you
Yeah,
can, are you
I'm
at
home.
home? Home?
Yeah, I'm home.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, cool, cool.
yeah.
Hmm.
So the way I understand is, agentic AI is the method, is like overview, and AI agents are like the typical, what do you say? AI agents are the workforce, or like the program which does your work. So AI agents is the subset of agentic AI, and generative AI is the uh, generative AI is the method for, let's say, it includes transformer encoding, decoding. It learns the patterns and then tells you the answers based on what it has learned.
Okay. Anyone else? What you are saying, it is somewhat correct, but I will try to as much simplify it as possible. Anyone who also put on the chat, you can put as well. And now coming to these three things, anyone else wants to take a guess before I move ahead? So what we are doing in the last 2-3 months, because the whole program that we have in AI Guild, in AI Residency, AI Executives, you're talking about generative AI. For the last 1.5 years, AI agents is there, AI agents, and I will tell the difference. And agentic AI is something very new. So what we have done is we have, because it is not only about it's not just a definition like what Shivraj told is somewhat correct, but there is a fundamental difference between this. And by the way, the people who don't know about this, the influencers and the so-called AI experts, they will mix everything and tell you. But I expect our community members who are part of these programs, they are aware about these things. So let me just share you this particular thing. So I request all of you, I have put a lot of time in putting some fundamental videos here. And I have requested all the community members who are here to spend some time in this understanding about this whole system, right? Generative AI, the systems, the one that I'm going to talk about, AI agents. Then we have what is the difference between software engineering, the so-called software engineering for the last 20 years, and the AI agents that are coming up now, AI agents and agentic AI systems that are coming. What are the five key features of AI agents? Some of the use cases, some of the health use cases. End of the day, all these agents that are there, they are using a. Anyone wants to tell me the full form of React? Here, React prompting. Anyone in the chat, if you want to tell me the full form of this. Anyone wants to tell the full form of React? Yes, no. So React is reasoning and acting. So reasoning and action. So this is a prompt technique that we have been using for the last approximately uh, some time. AI agents is based on that. I'm going to talk more about that, right? Machine learning and agentic AI. So how you can use machine learning and reinforcement learning in that. Then we have something called as an agentic AI framework, which we have discussed here, and then we have taken something in action. So using AI agents in action, there is something called as a land graph and lang chain, but at least all of you should be here. So I am already requesting, I'm adding more and more videos here as well. So all of you, I request you to spend some time and go through this in your free time. I have put small videos because it is not something that I can tell you in 40 to 45 minutes. I will give you introduction, but the purpose of creating this, because every one of you here in this room, all the how many of you have joined, they understand that there are three things that are there. The takeaway of today's call, minimum takeaway is you should know these three things are very much different and you should define them. That is the whole purpose of this call. Generative AI, AI agents, and agentic AI. It's an evolution. If you really want to learn agentic AI, you need to know about AI agents. If you want to learn about AI agents, you should know generative AI. If you want to learn about generative AI, you should understand how these transformers work. Whatever Shivraj has told, how does LLM work? And if you really want to understand how does LLM work, you need to, if you want to go into details, you need to go to neural networks and all those things, probability and all. If you want to really understand how it works behind the hood. But this is the way we move from foundations to the things. Right now, we are using agentic, talking about agentic AI. All of you know that there is something called MCP right now. MCP A2A, which is one more layer after agentic AI, which we will be discussing. And I have already, as I speak, we already have some videos here. If you see in the same course, in the same agentic AI, I am adding up here. If you see model context protocol. So explaining you what is an MCP, what is the architecture of the MCP, and how you can set up MCP servers on Windows. So this is something that I will do a workshop maybe in the coming weeks, but this is something that is already here, and I request people who are a little bit interested to learn about this, which is after agentic AI, you need to understand this protocol. And I have tried to make very simple videos to make you guys understand this. So now coming to generative AI, and keep the questions coming in the chat, and then I will be taking it as well, very in some gaps. So now coming to basic generative AI, right? Basic generative AI, these three things we discussed, how they are different. Shivraj told something, and if there are any questions, I want to have also have open discussion here in the chat as well, right? So generative AI, even I will tell you in most of the AI residents here, most of the AI residents here have built I will tell you the fourth cohort, Shruti and all, they have already built AI agents as well. Shivraj also has built AI agents, and I will tell the fifth batch that is running now, they have built something like this. The fifth batch, like Pooja and Kritika and all, they have who are joined recently, they have built something. They have built the first one, generative AI. Ben as well. Uh, I think yeah, Ben did not join the live class last time, but the whoever joined live, they built their first generative AI chatbot. What is a generative AI? What is a generative AI chatbot or any application that your chatbot is connected to a large language model. A large language model. So you ask a specific query. There is a prompt template. Like suppose you're asking some question about Python, what is a tuple? And then there is a prompt template that says that you are a chatbot that is only going to answer Python related questions and XYZ and in a beginner level. So both of them together go to the large language model. What is a large language model? It is a huge model that is based on images, text, and all those things. And then it understands the prompt and the query that the person is asking and generates a new content. The content can be a text, it can be an image, it can be a video, it can be an audio. So this is a basic LLM that is there. This is reactive. When I say reactive, it means that when you ask a question, like I ask a specific question about explain me what is a tuple or explain me what is agentic AI, it is going to look at the LLM. Any example of LLM in the chat? Anyone wants to give me any example of LLM? When I say LLM, any example of LLM that anyone has, can you put it on the chat, please? Yeah, if it is, yes, OpenAI is one LLM. OpenAI is actually not an LLM. Uh, yeah. Oh, LLM is like this one. If I say LLM, it is GPT-4o. ChatGPT is not an LLM. Kritika, ChatGPT is not an LLM. Please, LLM is the models. GPT-4o, Llama 3, these things, right? Llama 3, these are models. Subtitles, Ansari, what is subtitles? Is LLM is basically a model that is based. So even ChatGPT is using a LLM. ChatGPT is a source that is using GPT-4o, right? But you got it, right? You got what is a LLM. So anyone can me tell if I ask in this LLM that what is the latest AI news in this particular chatbot, in this first one, if I ask what is the latest AI news as of today, will this be able to give me the answer yes, no in the chat? If I ask a latest news, this particular chatbot, this one that I'm showing you. So Ansari is telling me yes. I will, Ansari, why you feel it will tell me the answer? If I ask what is the latest AI news as of today, so Shivraj is telling no. I will, if Ansari can speak, then I will ask him to speak. I will then. Can you speak, Ansari? Yeah, tell me.
Yes, Mohammed. How are you? Nice
Good,
meeting you.
good.
And I was thinking, like, so you asked me a question, like, if you ask the LLM, like, the latest
This one, yes, this
things
one.
happening in LLM, yes.
Hmm.
So, so it should be giving you, right, the latest what's happening. It's kind of ChatGPT or DeepSeek kind of thing, right? DeepSeek is also LLM, right?
Yes, yes. DeepSeek is LLM. Now, very good. So now, just to answer, so my context is, if you just see here, if you ask the latest question, what is happening today to an LLM, it will not give you the answer because the LLM that you see has a knowledge cutoff of a particular month. What right now, what the chat GPT that we are using as of today, which is going to give you the answer, is actually connected to Google or some other search API. So anything you ask latest, it uses a Google and gets the answer. But the image that I am showing right now, which is only the LLM, which is only LLM and which has a knowledge cutoff. So knowledge cutoff is as of October 2024 is the knowledge cutoff of these large language model. So they don't have any data of 8th of May 2025. So they don't know anything that is happening today. What we are using right now, as you said in the chatgpt.com or this latest websites, they are connected to Google search or any search engine. So if you ask any recent question, AI agents come into the place, and I will talk in the next slide. But everyone understood what Shivraj told, that this particular setup, generative AI setup, cannot be used to give you live data or cannot be used to give you relevant data. It will only use the LLM to generate a new type of content. So it can be a summary, it can be an audio, video. So everyone is clear about this. Only the generative AI, the basic generative AI, which is not connected to any data, any agent, or any search API, cannot give you the latest information because of the limitations. Everyone is clear? Just put yes. So then I will move to the next one. Yes, so this is the thing about generative AI. So in this generative AI, now what people are doing since the last 2 years, they are adding a lot of new things, and which is going to make it capable to answer the question that I was asking about the latest AI news. The first thing is, and I will show you, is connecting this to a Google search. Suppose I ask a latest question to ChatGPT or my chatbot that what is the latest AI news, the LLM will understand that I cannot answer this question because my knowledge cutoff is till October. So it will send my request to the Google search. Google search will give you a search query about the results of the latest AI news. And then the LLM is going to summarize and it is going to generate the new content. And the frameworks that we can use for generative AI, we can use all these things we can use LangGraph, LangChain, OpenAI, React, and everything to use for our generative AI. These frameworks can be used for other things as well, which we will. Yes, offline LLM is when you take this large language model and you download it in your local system and use it without the internet, so that your information is secured and you have something that is there. So that is something we will discuss later. Generally, LLMs that are there, if you are using a open source LLM, you can download it in your local system, and you can also start doing this using it in as a offline, because you don't need the internet, but you require a big GPU laptop or a server to do that. Okay, so now coming to the next part. So this is the generative AI part. Everyone is clear. Now we have the AI agents part. Now we will talk about AI agents. So the same question that I asked, right? What is the latest AI news? What is the latest AI news now? And generative AI will not be able to answer that question because of this a problem that I told you. So what is going to happen? This is when we just talk about very, very simple AI agents. This is back 1.5 years back, where it had some tools. Like in this case, there is a tool called Tavily. How many of you in this chat have used or heard about Tavily? Some of the AI residents might have heard, but anyone has heard? Yes, no, just put on the chat. Okay, so yeah, the new cohort might not have heard. Shivraj is an old cohort, so we have used it as well. But just think about Tavily as a search API. Gives you connection and so that you can connect to your application, so that if I ask any question about like latest AI news, it is going to send this. So I will just give you a scenario. So suppose I ask this question, what is the latest AI news, or who won the IPL match? IPL is a cricket match that is very uh, happening right now in India. So a lot of people are talking about it. So this is the latest question that we ask. This question goes to the LLM. What is the latest AI news or anything that is happening? LLM has the brain to understand that I don't have this answer, and I will send my request. So it will send the request. So it will send the query that latest AI news as of 8th of May 2025. So it will send this request to this particular Tavily third-party API. Tavily will take this request, it will process it. It is going to send a JSON response to the large language model. And then the large language model will take your query, it will take the response, and it is going to give the output that is there. Suppose to the same LLM, to the same application, you ask a different question, like you ask about what is agents or what is agentic AI, and if the LLM knows about it, it will be that smart enough to understand that, okay, I don't want to go to Tably, I can just give you the output. But if it is not able to answer it, so it has some level of understanding. It can infer from the human's feedback, and it can give you a specific, it can send a specific request to that API. So the same thing that if in the residency, if you remember, we built the weather application. So suppose I ask this question to the chatbot, as of today, what is the weather in UAE? It will not give me the answer because it is there's a knowledge cutoff. So what we did is we connected it to a weather API, and then if the question is about weather, it understands that and it sends a request to the weather, gets the information and sends it. So all these type of examples, where we have generally we have one agent. In this case, we can have two agents as well. Very simple agents. We can have two agents as well. That is not a problem. They can also be called as a basic AI agent. If you remember, if suppose for the same thing, if we add one more, for just I will take example. In the same bot, we add one more weather. Suppose we have a sports application, right? Sports app, which will give you the latest IPL news. And also, if you want to know the weather, it will also get you the weather from the weather API. So this type of things will be called multi-agent. So because it is a very simple, two agent are there, and according to the question, it is going to go to Tavily. If not, it is going to go to the weather, and then but the response is only going to be one way. So it is going to come back here and it is going to give you the output. There is no cycle. There is no cyclic level of thought process that happens in the next one. It's very simple applications where you have very sequential way of thinking, and then you get a very basic AI agent. Then if the number of agents become more than one, then people started calling it multi-agents. In our workshops, we have seen basic, before agentic AI came also in place, we were having three agents. If you all remember the blog writing that some of you have built, like Shivraj and all have built in our fourth cohort. So that is a multi-agent, a multi-AI agent. Still, that is not agentic AI. It is basic multi-AI agent that is doing specific tasks like writing, editing, and proofreading. So that is also very simple thing. Now, before I move to the third one, yes. So now that is Crew AI. What this thing is telling, we will go to that. But these are very simple. Here in this type of thing, as the input comes, the thing that Sudha is mentioning about planner agent which routes as required. Simple agents where there is these things can be called as an agent. But see, as these systems developers found better ways of doing things, then we had something like, as Sudha is mentioning, like for routing, they felt that this is not a very um, efficient method. So that is the reason why they started something else, which is the next one, which I'm going to go. And after I explain this, then you will understand. There is multi-AI agents. If you want to do something in multi-AI agent, better than using this basic AI agents framework, you start using agentic AI framework. So for that, I will give you a simple example, right? So you know that we have a YouTube channel in our community. So we create a lot of YouTube videos. So what we want to do is we want to create a system or a workflow or a simple project wherein from our YouTube videos that we create in our academy, in our channel, we want to convert into a blog and put in our community blog. So for that, we follow a four-step process, right? We have YouTube to transcript, then that is the first step, then creating titles, creating descriptions, and then we write the conclusion. So these are the 3 to 4 steps process that we need to do while we want to create a simple YouTube video to and blog. So in this case, there are going to be multiple AI agents that are going to work together. So here, if you see, what is the goal? There is one goal here if you see this whole process in an agentic AI system, when you are talking about it, there is one goal. Here in this case, you are creating a sports bot, and if a user is asking like uh, about today's match that is happening, what is the weather going to be for today's match? So if that is a question that you ask, then the LLM is going to understand the Tavily will not give us a good answer. Send it to weather API. Weather API will tell me the temperature of Bangalore, and then you will get the response that the weather of Bangalore is this. So this is not a specific goal. They're just building a simple chatbot which has connection to two tools. But in an agentic AI, it is much more than that. There is a something that is very important is a goal. A goal has been set. So in this particular thing, the goal is from a YouTube video to create an amazing, knowledgeable blog. So for that, these four agents are working together to make sure that happens. So there is something called as a state is defined. So we have done multiple workshops in our community where we have seen all these things happening. And but today I wanted to talk at a bird eye view, even for the newcomers who are going to start in our new program that are there as well. So coming to this, it's connected. So we have the first one that takes the video and makes the transcript. Then it pushes it to the different agents that do specific tasks, like one creating the title, one creating the description, one creating the conclusion. Then and everything is happening, and this is not sequential. uh, when I say sequential, it's not like one after the another. Here we are using, you can use high level frameworks like Crew AI or Agno and Langgraph at a low level. It means that it's a graph that is, it's like a lang graph. There is iterations that happen until the goal is achieved, until the LLM feels that the output is proper. And in this component also, what you can do, and I think in the last workshop, if you remember, some of you attended, we added a human feedback as well. Suppose the output that is coming and you want an interruption that happens, and you want a human to look at that output and then give a go ahead, you can do that as well for this particular task to complete. So all these things that are happening together, all the agents that are working, they're collaborating with each other to attain a common goal, that is building a blog from this YouTube transcript. So when this thing happens, then we call it as an agentic AI system, which is not only connecting your LLM to different tools, but also creating the whole ecosystem. And there are frameworks that do it. As I told you, there are 2, 3 frameworks that we have covered almost all the frameworks. We have also covered human feedback as well in the last workshop, and all of this are there in the series which I'm going to show you here, right? So one is this is the series that has this theoretical concepts of agentic AI. And for the practical things, if you go here, for because land graph is used a lot in these things, if you want to actually understand how these things work. So I have created one more complete series for land graph. Land graph is the low level programming that makes sure that you define the state and everything. So I have created a lot of videos on land graph and also different types of workflows. So now, even in the panel that I did in function one, there was a discussion about workflow, right? So workflow is just like, this is also a workflow, right? What you saw, this is also a workflow, but this workflow has one thing different from the traditional workflow, software level workflow. What is it? That it has a large language model in place, which has the thinking power, and it has the autonomous decision-making capability to decide whether a particular output is correct or not. You can control the number of feedbacks, the number of iterations it needs to do to make it a little bit more efficient and cost effective, because if you allow these agents to continuously keep thinking, and it is going to go in a unending loop. So you need to always give some iterations, maximum 5 iterations or something, to make sure that you don't overspend your tokens, to make sure that you are also being a little bit efficient in your work. So this is how these things work. So now Any questions? Please, everyone is clear about the difference between AI agents. Sudha, you want to add something? You want to, shall I unmute you? You want to say something? Everyone clear about this? Riva, Pooja, Sheikh. Yes, Ansari is raising his hand.
Uh, yes, Mohammed. Sorry, I think my internet was interrupted. That's why I couldn't speak to you before. I got a quick question, Mohammed. Like LLMs is good. Like I'm also pretty new to this. So in my office, they've been speaking about offline LLM.
Hmm.
So they've been presenting this to the business, saying like I work for a media business. Let's say they're saying they developed LLM. Let's say if my manager or chairman wants to know like how many leads came this month or how much revenue we got. So if they want to just type the question, the answer should pop up. That's kind of LLM they're building it. So I want to understand like what is really that offline LLM means, how it will be built. Yeah,
So
I'm curious here.
offline LLM, there is offline LLM is just taking the large language model on your local cloud, on your local infrastructure or your local cloud. That LLM is not going to help you answer that question about what were the leads, what were the sales. LLM is just going to be one small component. You are not going to use APIs. You are not going to use. It is going to be there on your local. So offline, just think of what does offline mean, that you download it on your local hardware in your company. And I'm sure if your company has the some servers, that because you need to have at least a good processor and everything to run that. And they are also building systems. They are also building basic types of systems to answer that. And I will talk a little bit about what exactly you're trying to do. So in the use case that Ansari is telling, they are not actually building AI agents specifically. They are doing something in RAG. And I will talk about that, retrieval augmented generation. But offline LLM is not a concept. It is just a way of telling LLM is going to be in a local system, because in your use case, they don't want the LLM to be outside. They don't want to do API calls because of security and all that. So it is going to be RAG. We'll talk more about that. Yes. So tokens are necessary to keep it clear for AI. So token, so yeah, we will talk about RAG. Just give me 1 minute. Tokens are necessary to keep it clear. So tokens here means uh, in the LLM world, uh, when we are calling these applications, you are getting charged by the number of tokens that you are using. So if you run one loop, if you remember, Riva, if you have seen the recording, if you ask one query to ChatGPT, around 1,000 tokens are getting used. If you keep asking again and again, because in an agentic AI, what happens? The loop keeps on running again and again. The loop keeps on running, and what happens that the number of tokens that gets consumed increases. Once the number of tokens increases, that is the thing that you need to be careful about. But I hope this understanding is clear about tokens. So you want to ask, you want to raise your hands, let me know. And now coming to RAG. So now RAG is a concept that I want to tell you, because everyone is clear about agentic AI. RAG is something that is also coming in the picture, because a lot of enterprise level applications are using RAG. So the full form of RAG, anyone wants to tell the full form of RAG for Riva? Pooja, Sudha, you want to say something? You wanted to, I was unmuting you. If you want to say something, you can.
Yeah, thanks, Dishit. So RAG is nothing but a retrieval augmented system, right? Where kind of based on the context that we are giving, it's kind of a vectorized database where all your knowledge is being vectorized. Whatever context you give is vectorized in the database. And what RAG typically does is it kind of looks for the context, looks for the nearest vector based on the vector search, and tries to get you that information. So that's the whole concept of the RAG. So what it does is it kind of consolidates all the information into probably, how do you call it, into groups, right? So that it can quickly refer, and whichever is the closest vector based on the numbers, right? So it kind of gets you that context and the information.
Yes. Thanks a lot. So this is something very hot in enterprises. So what Ansari was mentioning and all others mentioning. So RAG, the simple full form of RAG is retrieval augmented generation. And as the name tells, retrieval means getting the data from whatever sources you have. Like for Ansari, the data is coming from his social CRM, from his CRM, from his ERP, what are the number of leads, what are the number of campaigns, and the effectiveness. So from there, the data is coming. And if a business user asks a question like, what was the number of leads in the last quarter? Then that out, uh, output is going to come from the use of the data that is there. And we will talk a little bit about it. One thing is RAG is there for some time. Since the last generative AI application started in the 2022, in February of 2023 only, LangChain, people were started using LangChain to connect it to their RAG. They were started using that. So I will talk about the first traditional RAGs. So now now RAGs, why I'm saying traditional RAGs means it is the old RAGs that is there. And I will tell you the difference. And all of you who have used RAG like Sudha and all will also try to understand from me. And also Shivraj and the Sayyed and the Zakia and all who have been who in the master classes that we have used, you'll understand why the traditional RAG is not that good. It is good. It is, see, everything seems nice, right? Like the 2024 any model car that is there 2024, it seems very nice. It feels very nice until the new model comes up, right? This is how the world in the materialistic world works. Anything that new comes out, the old one becomes old. But I still like RAG. Traditional RAG also does a lot of work for you. It is cost effective and it is good for simple use cases. But you will understand the power of it, and I will tell you. So as a query, as I ask a query, this is the traditional RAG. If I ask a query, what was the sales in the last quarter? What is going to happen that DB and I will tell you the example of my academy, because we have Udemy courses, we have different courses. So suppose a student wants to ask a specific question, what we do is we don't want the answer to come from just from the large language model. What we do is we take our Udemy courses, our AI Guild courses and all these courses, put it in a vector database. What is a vector database? It does it, as Sudha was mentioning, it takes all the context, it vectorizes it, it stores it so that when I ask a query, it is going to uh, suppose I ask a question here, like what is the uh, uh, what is agentic AI and how many, something like that I ask it. So this particular question is going to this database, and it is going to take out 3 or 4 similar context of uh, information that is there from this database, and it is going to push it to the large language model along with my query and along with this whatever context that is coming. So the large language model, what it is going to do is it is just going to summarize the output. So it is going to take all the 3 answers from here, the question that we're coming from here, and the LLM will just summarize the output. Suppose the question that I asked, suppose I ask the question, what is I ask a question about non-related to my database. And if I define, if you remember, I talked about system prompt. And if the system prompt tells me that this application should not answer any other question other than academy, it is going to stop here. But if you ask any question that is not in the database, and if you don't have any system instruction, then the answer will come from the large language model, like basic large language model. So this is how a RAG works. But if you write the system instruction properly, that don't answer any question by yourself, then this application will generally tell that we cannot answer, the information is not found in the database. You can program it like that. So for that, you need to write the system message. But if you don't write the system message and you ask a question about, suppose, agentic AI, if the answer is not here, the LLM will make up some answer and give you an output. But this is how a traditional RAG works. The LLM is working only to summarize the output and get whatever information is coming from here and give you the output here. Now, one question is coming from Riva. So Riva, this particular part, that the DB that is getting created, that is a process that maybe it is a little, we will be covering it in the 7th and 8th master classes because it is a little detailed, but just to tell in 2 minutes, think about taking all the data about the Udemy courses, the transcripts, and there is a vector embedding that happens. OpenAI has an embedding. So it will take the words, it will take the data, and it is going to map it, like it will create a 3D dimension. Maybe it will be something like this. And these are vector databases like ChromaDB, Pinecone, they take care about this. And then they do the similarity search and they give you the answer. So it vectorizes the context from different users. Is it going to summarize the output given? So it's going to, no, it vectorizes, only the database is vectorizing. Only the database that you are creating, the vector database is creating, is vectorized. The user query is asking a question, that question is going to go here. Like suppose, what is an agentic AI? This is going to go here. This is going to it is going to search the data here. This is not going to get vectorized. The query is going to go to the database, and there is a lot of things happening internally, but just think about it, that it is searching for that answer within the vector database and is going to give us an output. And then this is getting the answer. So LLM is answering only this part of it. Okay, only doing this part. LLM is only summarizing the output. When you're asking a question, the question is going here, and then the answer is going. The question is going here, and it is filtering from the database, and it is sending the context here, and the LLM is just summarizing it. Okay, I hope this one is clear. No, that is Ben, that does not happen. That does not happen in traditional RAG. The query will be here. The query will go to the database. Then like suppose whatever you're asking, there is a similarity search that happens. And then, because why will it go first to the LLM? You have asked a question like, what is agentic AI? It is going to search for that answer in the database, and it is going to give the similarity things here. And then the LLM is going to summarize it and give you an output. This is how a RAG works. What Ben is talking about it? Yes, this is a traditional RAG. But what Ben is thinking about, and this is the misinformation that is there in the market, and this is good for you to know, what Ben is talking about is something called as an agentic RAG. So Ben is talking about agentic RAG. In agentic RAG, what is happening? When I ask a question, like this same example, suppose in this example, I only had my Udemy course as a database. But suppose now I ask my application, like I make a little bit more advanced application. I have 3 databases. One database is for my Udemy courses, second database is for my AI Guild courses, and third is for my live courses that are there in my AI residency and AI executive program. So now we have 3 databases, and all the 3 are vectorized. Now I have created a chatbot for my academy, for my whole community, according to the question that you ask. Like I asked the question, when is the next AI residency going to start? So this query now will not directly go to the LLM. Why? This will go to an agent. The agent here has LLM. It has inbuilt LLMs or a large language model that understands that Muhammad is asking about when is the latest AI residency batch starting. So what it is going to do, it is going to have that brain to understand that we need to send it to DB2. DB2 will understand that it will see AI residency next cohort in 2025, June 21. It is going to send that June 21 information to the LLM, and then the LLM was going to summarize the output and give me the answer in plain English. Done. Now I will ask, tell me what are the Udemy courses that are available in my community. So now it is not going to go to DB3 and DB2, it is going to go to DB1. The DB, it is going to understand the information from DB1 and it is going to push to the LLM. Now, many of my residents and my mentees were asking, we can do this in traditional LLM also, right? We can make it in one database and we can, yes, you can do that, but this is more efficient. This is a more efficient, and what Ben was telling, what Ben was thinking is happening in this system called Agentic RAG. There are advantages of this, there are disadvantages of this, but this is how we have progressed from one form to another. Yes, so this is what Agentic RAG. So, but I request all of you today, because you are part of our community, you are part of this, try to understand these concepts that are there, because if many people are using it interchangeably, right? So all of you, the thing is, see, now if any one of you studies RAG now, if any one of you studies RAG now, they will not understand what is a traditional RAG, what is the difference, why has this been created. But a lot of use cases you can use traditional RAG. You don't need to, if there is only one database, right? If there is a simple database, there is only one vector database, there is only one type of question you want to ask, then you will use a traditional RAG. You don't want to spend time and effort in building an agentic RAG system. But in this use case, if there are multiple databases, then you will be using this. So every use case, so there are so many tools available, but as an AI resident, as an AI executive, as a community DDS Academy student, you should know the difference between all these things. Because I talk to a lot of people and everyone is using this interchangeably, and I just listen and I keep quiet. Right. So, but all of you, I request all of you here, please understand the differences. And whenever you have a conversation, be informed and have a conversation. That is the main thing that I'm trying to do in AI residency, AI executive programs, to make it do. Sudha, continue.
Yeah, thanks, Arshad. So I just wanted to add just a couple of more points to the agentic RAG, right? So what it typically does is when you're using it in a multi-agent system, what a multi-agent does typically is it breaks down your complex problems, right? And it does multiple retrievals, analyzes the retrieval and gives you the best solution. So that's the biggest advantage of using agentic RAG. Right? Unlike your traditional RAG, it kind of analyzes a lot of information, does a lot of multiple retrievals from the vector database. So I just wanted to add that, Ashit.
Yes, yes. So now, Sudha, you are going one step ahead. You are going one step ahead. Why? I'll tell you why. So in this, what I did is I tried to understand this is a multi-agent system. This is an agentic system. This one is an agentic system, which is having they are working with multiple things and they are working towards a common goal. Now, this is a multi-agent system. This is a agentic RAG. So now in agentic RAG, this is agentic RAG component in multi-agent system. In this particular thing, suppose you can add one more agent here that does agentic RAG. So suppose you have, so this will become a part of this. So it is like a agentic AI system. In agentic AI system, there is one component called as a agentic RAG. So if the question is related to that enterprise data, what you said, there will be one more component here. This is my understanding what you're trying to tell as well.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a addition, like you can do that as well. And in the complex architectures, they have this. But first, we need to understand how this thing works properly. And then even in agentic RAG, right? Even in agentic RAG, in this component also. So in agentic RAG also, people are adding tools. So here, if you see, there is one database, two database, three database. What you can do is you can also add here very simple use case, right? you can use it interchangeably. In this also, you can add one or two tools. So
Correct.
someone told me, like, you can add here Google search. Just I'm giving example, or you can add any search API. So not only the databases that are connecting, this RAG that are connecting, you can also connect some tools like search. Like suppose the answer is not coming from DB1, DB3, DB2. Suppose here I ask one question that in this particular academy, I asked a question regarding when was the latest, what is the latest OpenAI model? I may not have the answer in my DB1, DB2, DB3. It can go to Google search and give you the answer. So both the things we can try to use. So if you understand this framework, you can try to add extra tools in the agentic RAG this system, or in that you can add the RAG according to that, or it's the same thing. If you see in the overall context, it is the same thing that you can do as well. But when we talk about agentic RAG, generally we do like this. When we add any extra tool to the agentic RAG, then it becomes a multi-agent. So it's all the uses, the use, it's all interchangeable use. But if you understand these four things, generative AI agents, agentic AI, RAG, and agentic RAG, these are the foundation structure. In this, you can mix and match. In agentic RAG, you can add a tool, it will become agentic AI. In agentic AI, you can add a RAG, it will become. So all of you are understanding this, right? So now coming to few questions from Riva. A huge agentic RAG is bad. Yes, correct. So that is the reason why you need to know the tools and you need to do this. Okay, now before I end, I just want to open Q&A we have two challenges that are going on now. LinkedIn challenge is starting on May 10th. Many of you are part of it. Building AI application challenge is already live. Today we launched the day 0 and I put it on the group. So everyone in this call should be part of this building AI application challenge. Put your plan, what you want to build, and start building it. LinkedIn, whoever are comfortable, who are not in corporate, who are comfortable to start writing on LinkedIn, and I recommend everyone to do that. At least if you don't want to write, at least learn about LinkedIn, because you need to even apply for jobs, or you want to reach out to potential hiring managers without posting. Right? Some people don't want to post. I know a lot of corporate employees that they are not okay to post, but you can always connect to the right people. You can always work in the back end, in the back. You can always comment on posts. You can always give proper connection requests. You can always connect to proper hiring managers. You don't need to always be posting for corporate employees who don't want to get exposed by the hiring managers, but their line managers. Okay, so it is very good. Now coming to Kahoot. Everyone, please keep your mobiles on. We are going to do a quick Kahoot quiz, and the winner of this will get Sudha. You have already won. But anyways, you can play again, no problem. The last challenge, Sudha is an expert, so she knows everything. But coming to I have changed the questions a little bit from the last one, but it is an interesting challenge. So I have kept it 8. Everyone, we have 14 of you. Please, I request of you, just for the learning, do it. If you don't want to win the prize, no need, but at least for the learning, you can do it. Host live, why is it not working? Oh. Add a class, celebrate class achievement. Okay, guys, open your mobile. No, you need to, Ben,